Welcome on in, friends. I'm excited to be bringing back a little bit of a series that we've done on our channel here called Viewer Build Request of the Week. Every week on stream, we do viewer build requests where you guys suggest ideas, I bring them to life. And this week, I actually had you guys vote on YouTube as to which character or build you wanted us to bring to life as a better build. And you guys voted on Spongebob. I am so excited for this build. You guys are gonna love it too. Let's dive on in and get him built. As I mentioned in our intro, I do live stream on Twitch 4 times a week, and that does include viewer build requests where the Spongebob request came from in the first place. You can see we've done a bunch of awesome builds over the last few weeks, and I just love being able to bring your ideas to life with a limited set of parts and a limited set of time. It's really fun way to challenge ourselves, and hopefully you guys come on by on Twitch, drop a follow, and hang out with us there sometime. So with our viewer build request of the week video today, I wanted to show you guys that no matter what kind of Lego collection you have, you can build pretty much anything you want. Now, how well you'll be able to do it may depend on the piece that you have available. And you can see our Spongebob from our viewer build request earlier this week, isn't incredible. It's recognizable, obviously, and we made the best of what the pieces we had available to us, essentially. But he's far from perfect. There's lots that could have been improved upon had better pieces, which you're going to see shortly. But I also wanted to show that even with less, you can still get away with making something recognizable. And that is why, as part of your build request of the week from this point forward, we're going to include all brick builds. So this is just a quick build I came up with, only using standard Lego bricks. And I wanted to show that yes, it's not going to be amazing, but you can still make recognizable characters even with a limited set of pieces. So this is kind of the best that I could come up with in a few minutes with just a basic set of bricks. So again, if that's even all you've got to work with, you can build something awesome too and make it recognizable, right? But I'm sure you guys are probably more interested in what my final build turned out to be, so you can hopefully go and recreate the best version of Spongebob that you can, maybe similar to the one that I've got here for you guys. And so our final Spongebob honestly turned out really well, and he is right there. Look at this guy. It's like not a ton has actually changed from this guy here, but with a couple of subtle changes, I think we've made a world of difference in this guy here. And I think he just looks really awesome, quite close to, what the actual character does. And we're gonna, of course, show you how this guy's built. So let's set these guys aside, and then we're just gonna tear this bad boy down and then show you how to build it. Let's do it up. Alrighty, friends, Spongebob is now fully disassembled and we are ready to start building him. We're gonna start from the feet up. I think that makes more sense for actually building it. Admittedly, when I was designing it, I really went from the top down, but you just got to go with whatever works. So we're going to start with this feet, just using some round 1x1 studs on the end of his feet there to give him a little bit of that round toed look that Spongebob has. I think this kind of works a little bit better for giving him the appearance of his actual shoes, but you can use any combination of pieces you like that you think looks best. I'm certainly not, the expert on the best things to match. You got to go with what feels right to you. All right, we're getting his skinny legs going here. And I went back and forth on like whether or not I liked the smooth yellow there or maybe a little bit shorter with studs. Again, just, whatever kind of feels best. This one, and in the end, kind of felt the most right to me. But, not too sure. Or, it could have gone anyway, really. The next part here is a little bit unique in what we did, in that we're going to grab a 1x6 plate. And I do want to make a quick note. We did unfortunately have a casualty along the way. Not uncommon for reddish brown to break on us. Always got to be extremely careful, especially when using a brick separator. With those, that's what caused the break. I was trying to do it from underneath. But, such is life. And you just got to be as careful as possible. But the reason that we have 1x2 plates is that we're actually using the center, point of an underside of a 1x2 plate to be the center point for our legs to attach on. I'll show you what I mean here. So we're attaching, rather than using like a 2x6 plate or 2x3s or something like that, we're using these guys so that the center of a jumper here can go right into the middle and kind of match the look of Spongebob's lower part of his shorts, like that. And then the legs can actually go right into the middle of these guys as well. Boom. And I think that kind of gives the closest appearance. It's not round like it is on his actual shorts, but I really like the way that this looks. Then we're just grabbing some more simple brown plates here. This is actually, a lot of this construction is very similar to what we did for the actual viewer build request. Sometimes, you know, things do work out really well with the viewer build request, so we don't have to change a lot. Then we're gonna grab this newer, you know, 2x2 modified plate with the studs. And that's what's gonna allow us to connect our bow tie, or our necktie, sorry, not bow tie. I love me some bow ties though, which is why I got confused. But SpongeBob wears our necktie. He's got his nice red tie there. And we're doing a very, very simple, you know, kind of technique for that, which is just a jumper on that modified plate, and then just a curved slope on top of that. Boom. And I think you can, like, even without doing the top half, people would know that this is SpongeBob, right? And now we're gonna kind of move on to the rest of the build. So let's start with kind of in and around the bottom of him. So we're actually gonna put these modified bricks, or snot bricks, on here, like so. And then these guys on the sides, because this is gonna give us a bunch of different points to connect plates onto to really give SpongeBob that spongy look. I definitely think the natural studs of Lego pieces kind of really work well to express the look of his sponginess, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if there's an official term for that, but I'm gonna go with sponginess. All right, and then we're just getting some plates on the side here. Then we've got a white plate here, and that's because that's where his arm is gonna attach. And I'm using these like modified white curve slopes because I think they give a little bit of the look of the sleeve. Again, there's lots of different ways you could do something like this. This just happened to be what I thought looked best, or I thought worked okay. You can do whatever feels right to you. So you can see he's now got his arms there. And then we're gonna attach some of the pieces of his mouth because those actually get connected directly onto here. We got some dark red and pink. That's kind of to make it look like the inside of his mouth and his tongue. We're just gonna do that. Even a little bit of natural studding in there kind of creates the look of, I don't know, some gums or something, whatever you want to call it. And then we've got some more sections to connect some studs onto. And we're using a lot of these corner plates because they give you a lot of flexibility with kind of how to connect different parts of the plates on his face, which are needed. These pieces have definitely been a lifesaver since they've come out. That's going to go right there. And then the corner plate's going to fill that in. That on his side. We're going to do a similar thing on the other side, although this one is going to be filling in a square space. I used some 1x2 plates because I couldn't find these square plates at the time. And a 1x2 brick on the inside here. Squeeze that all down. And that's going to fill in this space here. And then again, a corner plate to fill in the space. You could have obviously done a 1x2 and a 1x3. I didn't have any 1x3, so I just worked with some corner plates instead. And then what are we going to do next? Let's just keep kind of building up. Or no, actually, no, we can cover this area here. So we're going to put a 1x6 plate there, a 1x2 or a 2x2 plate there, a 1x1 plate there. And you can already see that's giving a lot of that really nice spongy look. Next up, we've kind of got the mouth and the teeth. So again, this is exactly the same as what I did on the viewer build request, just some 1x2 or 1x1 rounds underneath a plate. And then I got a 1x3 tile here. And this is supposed to kind of give a little bit more shaping to like how he has like a crooked smile. So that kind of gives a little bit of the flair there. And we'll kind of continue with that a little bit above it. Then we're just going to work in a bunch of 1x6 plates. I didn't have 2x6 plates handy. So I think I'd gotten these off the Pick-a-Brick wall at some point at a Lego store. So I have a bunch of them. And so that's what I had handy to fill in some space here. We're just going to do 2 1x6 plates. Or 4 1x6 plates, I should say, stacked. And then we're going to do some more snot brick work here. So we've got 1, 2 of those guys. And then another corner plate because we need lots of connection points here to work with. 3 and 4. Cool. And then I think we can, let's just keep building up and then we'll decorate the whole rest of him from there. So we got a 2x6 brick here, filling in some space, just squeezing that nice and tightly, like so. We got some 1x6 plates. And then on top of that, we've actually got some jumpers. And you might be wondering why we're using jumpers, but you will see in a little bit why we did that. Oops. And maybe we should just leave the legs off for now. I keep hitting them and stuff. They're not crazy fragile. It's just like it's hard to squeeze the build while he's got his little flimsy legs on there. So a little bit easier with those guys off. And then the jumpers are going to go on top here. Again, I'll break down why we are using jumpers at all on this. Cool. So now why don't we just go ahead and get his face on. And that's just a big 4x6 plate. Now I will note, I did realize kind of as I was taking this apart, there might have been one improvement to make. And that could have been to actually sink these pieces in a little bit further with some, you know, fancier brickwork here. You definitely could have made that work. And it would have allowed his eyes to be sunk in a little bit further and maybe look a little bit better. I'm kind of too lazy to make that big a change, so I'm not going to be doing that. Though I did realize another possible improvement would be with the nose, or in and around the mouth. And I thought it might look a little bit better if his little cheek rounded part was here, instead of being, I had it half a stud to the right. And you know, actually, no, I don't like it. So we're going to go back what we had. It's good to just try things. Trial and error really does, or really can take you far when it comes to Lego. It's always good to just keep messing around until you get something you're happy with. Because honestly, you might kind of like stumble upon, you know, an unexpected solution and find that you really like it. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I like the way that looks. Kind of gives his mouth a little bit of a little corner to it. So, and of course, we're going to top off the nose with a round tile there. Then this is where we're putting the jumpers on, but again, these could arguably be sunk in a stud further, even considering that we're using some clips here to create his eyelashes, because I visually checked, and you can actually see it does not really get in the way of the studs that are kind of underneath it or a layer below it. So you could lower them and they wouldn't interfere and would still look really good. I'm just gonna turn those up a little bit more. Those nicely positioned. And then the eyes, because now the round tiles have a stud underneath in the middle, they used to have a cross. You can connect those directly on like so. And boom, you got SpongeBob's eyes with some little eyelashes there. SpongeBob arguably has 3 eyelashes, but I think this works pretty darn well, and it's a pretty close equivalent. So now we can just put some 2x4 plates on the sides here. And then this is where the jumpers that we had connected come into play. So I wanted to have the top of SpongeBob be 7 studs wide rather than 6 like the rest of the build, to help imply that he kind of flares up a little bit if you look at him. So I didn't have a 2x3 plate, weirdly enough. So I had to kind of do some funky stuff to make a 1x1 or a 1x2 and a 2x2 plate work. So that's why the jumpers are on there like that. Boom. And then we did also want to cover up his back, of course. And on his back, I also kind of took that quote unquote flare up into consideration. And so I made it, it's 7 studs high like the front, but I did put just some plates on top like that to kind of have the top part of his body be a little bit further out from his, you know, his actual body. It gives them a little bit of flaring towards the back. Not maybe the most beautiful solution, but still looks pretty good. And then all we have to do now is stick his legs on, and boom, we have our SpongeBob Squarepants. And I definitely think you'd have a lot of fun with like adjusting parts of his face to make different expressions and stuff like that. But I really do think this one looks quite nice, and hopefully you guys do as well. And that's all we've got for you, folks. I hope you enjoyed checking out our build of SpongeBob Squarepants. I definitely think he looks quite awesome. If you guys want to get a little bit more in depth with the build, I do have a studio file available, so you can find the digital model of him so you can study him a little bit more closely. That's in the description of the video. Otherwise, guys, make sure you like the video, comment, let me know what you think. And make sure you subscribe so you can keep up with all the Lego building fun that we have here for you. And just thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, and happy building out there.